Hello everyone. Welcome to the CRM Fundamental course. In the last lesson, we learned how to create the main navigation pages. Today, we'll learn how to build all the other pages. The approach for creating these additional pages is primarily to refer to the desktop interface and adapt it for the mobile interface. First, let's create a folder called Leads. Then, we'll create a new page named Lead Management. Since this is a secondary page, we'll copy the top navigation bar from another page, which includes a back button. We'll change the page name to Leads and add a plus button for adding a new lead. Now, let's go back to the desktop version of the lead management page. We'll copy the interface elements and paste them onto the mobile version of the lead management page. We'll start with the search feature. We need a search box. Next is the filtering feature. We'll use an icon to represent the entry point. Then, we'll create a filtering panel. All the drop-down list items from the desktop version can be placed inside this filtering panel. Drag a rectangle onto the canvas and convert it into a dynamic panel. Pin it onto the top left corner of the browser. Now, let's enter the panel. Copy and paste a filtering icon and a title. Then, paste the drop-down lists onto the panel and adjust their sizes. Finally, we'll need a confirm button. Add an interaction to the filtering button inside the panel. When clicked, it should hide the panel with a slide right animation. Then, copy and paste this interaction to the confirm button as well. Next, we'll add an interaction to the filtering button next to the search box. When clicked, it should show the filtering panel. Now, let's convert the desktop table. We'll use cards to represent table entries, displaying only important information. The card's title will be the customer name, which is the most crucial information on the card. After that, we'll add a separator line. Following that, we'll have customer intent, lead status, last follow-up date, and next follow-up date. We'll duplicate more cards, and the mobile version of the lead management page is complete. Now, let's create the new lead page. Duplicate a new page and change the title to New Lead. Remove the plus button. Then, we'll copy the desktop version of the new lead page and paste it onto the mobile version. Next, we'll convert each desktop control into a mobile-friendly one. After that, we'll add a hotspot at the bottom for whitespace. Now, let's create the bottom navigation bar. It will have two buttons, Cancel and Confirm. Convert them into a dynamic panel and pin them centered at the bottom of the screen. Then, add an interaction to the back button in the top navigation bar. That's it, and the new lead page is complete. Moving on to the lead details page, let's duplicate a new page. Copy the desktop version of the lead details page and paste it onto the mobile version. We'll create a card from the desktop's top content. This card can utilize the one we created for the lead management page, with modified content. Next, we'll create the tab navigation. Duplicate the desktop tab navigation, adjust its size, and convert it into a dynamic panel. Now, let's work on the content for the tabbed sections. We'll use a dynamic panel to house the content, where each state corresponds to a tab's content. First, we'll create the content for the lead details section. We'll change the desktop side-by-side tabs into a top-to-bottom format. Then, let's create a new state for follow-up records. We'll need a title, a new record button to add new records, and a follow-up records list. Adjust the styling accordingly. Next, we'll create a new state for attachments. We'll need a title, a new attachment button, and a list with a title and icons for view, download, and delete. After that, let's create an operation log state by copying and pasting the desktop content. Finally, for the task state, copy and paste the desktop content. We'll need a new task button, a search box, and a card list. For this card, we'll select the most important fields: owner, lead status, progress, priority, start time, and end time. Then we duplicate more cards. We delete the unnecessary content, and then add interaction to the tabs. When clicked, the dynamic panel changes to the corresponding state. Next, we'll generate the prototype. Click each tab, it will switch to the corresponding content. After creating the leads page, let's create the lead pool page. Duplicate the folder above and change the page name and page title to lead pool. In a similar way, let's modify the desktop content. Copy and paste the content of the desktop's lead pool page. Remove the add icon. Then, we'll copy and paste the desktop's drop-down list into the filter panel. After that, we'll change the card fields to customer intent, lead status, reason for moving to the lead pool, and dates of moving to customer pool. The page is now complete. Moving on, let's create the Edit Lead Pool Lead page. Modify the page name and page title. This page is now complete. Then, we'll create the Lead Pool Lead Details page. Copy and paste the cards from the Lead Pool Management page. And copy and paste the tab's content. You can see that the desktop tabs match the mobile tabs. This page is now complete. Next, let's create the Customers page. The process is similar to the previous pages. First, we'll create the Customer Management page. Then the New Customer page, And finally, the Customer Details page. We're missing a bottom navigation bar here. Going back to the Lead Details page, we also need a bottom navigation bar with buttons for Edit, Move to Lead Pool, Convert to Customer, and Archive. The bottom navigation bar of the Customer Details page should have buttons for Edit, Move to Customer Pool, and Archive. Then we'll modify the content of the Customer Details page. Looking at the desktop status panel, we need to add a Contracts status to the tabs. Modify its content. The card fields are Customer, Order Number, Contract Status, and Owner. Duplicate more cards. Let's look at the desktop status again. We also need an Opportunities status. Add a new status for the mobile. The card here requires fields like Customer, Opportunity Stage, Related Contacts, Opportunity Amount, Win Rate, and Estimated Close Date. Looking at the desktop status again, we also need a Payments status. Add a new status for the mobile. The card here requires fields like Amount, Payment Method, Customer, and Order Number. Checking the desktop status again, we need a Contacts status. Add a new status for the mobile. The card here requires fields like Customer, is Key Decision Maker, Position, and Department. Looking at the desktop status again, we need an Orders status. Add a new status for the mobile. The card here requires fields like Amount, Customer, Payment Received, and Unpaid Amount. That's it, this page is now complete. Next, let's create the Customer Pool page. Remove the unnecessary content. Then, we'll create the content of the Customer Pool Management page in the same way. Starting with the cards and then the filter panel. Now, let's move on to the content of the Edit Customer Pool Customer page. Here, we only need to change the owner to previous owner. Next, we'll create the Customer Pool Customer Details page. The content of the tabs will remain largely the same. We can use the cards from the Customer Pool Management page. Here, let's add a bottom navigation bar to the Customer Details. During the process of creating the prototype, if we find any omissions or errors, we can modify them at any time. Then, we'll add a Previous Owner field. In the tabs, we need a Contacts, an Opportunities, an Orders, a Payments, and a Contracts tab. That's it, this page is now complete. Moving on, let's create the Contacts page. First, we'll create the Contact Management page. Copy the desktop content and paste it onto the mobile page. Then, we'll create the new Contact page. And after that, the Contact Details page. Once that's done, let's create the Opportunities page. Start with the Opportunity Management page. We can use the Opportunities cards from other pages for this. Copy and paste them onto this page. Next, we'll create the New Opportunity page, and then the Opportunity Details page. Here, we'll copy and paste the step indicators from the desktop version. In the tabs, we need a Price Quote tab. For the content, we'll create a table. To simplify the table, it has fields for product name, price, quantity, and action. Now, let's create the Orders page. First, we'll create the Order Management page. Here, we need to modify the cards copied and pasted from other pages. Then, we'll create the New Order page. Here, we'll change the page's background color to white. Finally, let's create the Order Details page. We need to add a new Products status here. Then, we'll create the list of products. After that, we'll add other tabs to keep consistency with the desktop version. Then, let's create the Products page. The creation process is similar to other pages. First, we'll create the Product Management page. Here, we can copy and paste the list from the previously created Product tab. We add a new listing status column. After that, we'll create the New Product page. Then, we'll create the Product Details page. Next, let's create the Contracts page. The creation process is similar to other pages. First, we'll create the Contract Management page. Then, the New Contract page. Followed by the Contract Details page. Now, let's create the Payments page. The creation process is similar to other pages. We'll start with the Payment Management page. Then, the New Payment page. After that, the Payment Details page. Moving on to the Tasks page, the creation process is similar to other pages. We'll begin with the Task Management page. Here, we need to add a related item field to the cards, indicating the project associated with the task, for example, order number 1231. We also need to add the missing related item column on the desktop version. Next, we'll create the New Task page. Then, the Task Details page. Here, we need to change follow-up records to comments. The task function will use this to display comments from different users. Now, let's create the Roles page. We'll start with the Role Management page. Here, we'll use a list to display the roles. Then, we'll create the New Role page. Moving on to the Permissions page. The main difference from the desktop version is that we'll use toggle buttons instead of checkboxes. Clicking on the toggle button will switch its selection status. Then, we'll create the lists for Page Permissions and Data Permission from top to bottom. Returning to Role Management, we'll group the elements of each row and add an interaction that redirects to the Permission page when clicked. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, and share with others. Thank you.